Good morning. It's morning right now. I don't know what time it is while you're watching, but I wanted to share with you another My Take in 10, which I started months and months ago, and then only did one. So here I am for the second one. It was going to be a weekly thing, but you know how that goes. But I want to talk about anxiety and big emotional experiences. I want to talk to you about it from a somatics perspective and then give you a couple of ideas about how you can move through some of that. This stuff is also really good for people who have panic or can feel a panic attack coming on. I will say one of the things to pay attention to is to get to know what those signals are and those signs are that tell you you're in kind of an anxious state, or because those things can escalate. Anxiety, big emotional experiences start sometimes smaller, and if you can catch it when it's in the beginning, it's a lot easier to contain and sort of manage than if you try to get to yourself when you're already in a really escalated place. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you. Did I bring my towel? I did. So from a body-based perspective, when we talk about anxiety or anger or even just feelings in general, what we are aware of is that if you think of those experiences as charge in the body, okay? So think of physics, charge and then discharge. So if you can feel, if you notice when you start to have a big emotional experience that that there's this, it's charged, this feeling in your body that is saying something's coming, something's happening, right? So to move through it, we use things like watching what you're thinking about. This is not the body-based piece. This is more the neck up piece. What are my thoughts right now? How are my thoughts maybe contributing to the feeling I'm having? Are the thoughts that I'm thinking true? Are they part of a sort of a download of a narrative that we received growing up, either about ourselves or about feelings or anything like that? So we work with that a lot, but the piece that often is missing in the therapy world is the body-based piece, though it's growing and growing more and more. But that's my jam, so I'm going to share with you some things that I know. These are from bioenergetic kinds of the bioenergetic paradigm of the body as a system of energy. And so when we get big feelings building up, we have that charge in our body, the muscles, we do something muscularly or in our body organization to contain it. We don't like the feeling, or we're trying to get rid of it. The body, we do something with our body. So learning what it is that you do when you start to feel anxious. Do you try to ignore it? Do you try to suppress it? How do you suppress it? Do you tighten up? Do you swallow a lot? Pull up in your pelvic floor? Just contract, right? So what we want to do is let that energy move, and that can feel a little scary to people sometimes, because sometimes, as we know, feeling states can be really big and they can feel out of control. So these are just some ways to not necessarily control them, but to allow the energy that's being moved, that's trying to be expressed or moved, to move. So I'm going to share a couple of ways that you can do that. One is you take just a kitchen towel. So we're talking about discharging, right? So you have a big feeling experience coming, or you feel buzzing in your chest or butterflies in your gut. This is a good upper body response, and then I'll show you one for lower body that involves the legs and standing up, and I'll do that for you. So the first one is a towel. So you roll it up so that it's not too big that you can't get a good grip on it, but it's not too small that you have to torque really hard to get any resistance. So what you're going for is resistance, right? So you have this feeling experience. You pick up your towel, you roll it, and you just twist, twist, twist. And you can feel the arms engage, the chest, sometimes the belly. Hold. And the discharging is that energy that's building up is coming out through my arms and my chest and into my hands and then into the towel. And you just give it a good twist, hold, and then you release it slowly and you pause. Feel. It's not going to happen right away necessarily, but sometimes when you're twisting, you'll start to notice some shaking. Let the shaking happen. That's part of the discharging. So just allow it, breathe, let it move, let it move. You might even make a sound or say a word that expresses what you're feeling. You could swear, whatever it is. So twist, unwind, slowly. Take a breath and pause. And you'll start to feel as you do this, that this energy that's building is moving. And that's what we're looking for. Move the energy. Let the energy move. So twisting, okay? So that's one. I suggest people keep a towel in their cars. Of course, we have them in our houses. But it's nice to have one with you when you need such a thing so that you can intervene early when you start to feel something's off or somewhat dysregulated or anxiety's coming up or whatever it is. So that's the towel. That's the upper body. So the lower body requires, let me move my chair. So upper body. So here, I'm going to stand sideways just so you can see the bending. So you're going to stand, and again, I'm actually on a ramp. I don't know if you can tell by the standing. So you want to stand on an even ground, but if I do, you won't be able, well, maybe you'll be able to see me if I turn this a little. Yeah, that's better if I'm on something even. Okay, so, and let me put this down a little so you can see my knees and my cilantro. Okay, so the idea is you stand with your feet just below your hips, and you don't lock your knees. You keep them soft. Take a breath, and then you just drop slowly down. You don't go too far, but you go far enough that, you don't want to stress your knees, so this might not work for those of you who have knee issues, but I can show you when sitting down, which I will show you in a minute. So you just stand like this, and you connect, and you breathe. You can twist the towel while you're doing this. You can do upper body and lower. If you got a lot of energy going on, do them both at the same time. Keep your breath conscious, pay attention, and you just stand here like this, and you wait until your quads start to kind of burn, these thigh muscles. They burn a little. You might feel trembling in your legs. That's okay. It's sort of like the trembling with the towel. It's the body kind of releasing the energy, right? So allow it. Don't be afraid of it. Trust your body. Consciously breathe. And just hang out there. And you will be the judge of when you come out of this posture. So you want to wait until you get that burning or trembling and then when you come up, this is important. You come up slowly out of this position, and you have this idea like you're pushing against the floor. Push against the floor, the ground, whatever you're standing on. Come up. Don't lock your knees. Take a breath. And feel yourself. That's always an important piece. Feel yourself, right? Stand there. And then do it again. Lower your body. Hang out. Breathing consciously. And when you're ready, you push against the floor and come up slowly. Don't lock the knees. And then stand. You'll start to feel the energy dissipating. It really works. But it doesn't work if you don't do it. That's the key. You have to do it. So for sitting, this can be done in your car. When you're not driving, obviously, or if you're even at dinner with people and you can feel some anxiety coming up, you can do this. No one has any idea that you're doing it. It's not visible. But the way that you do it sitting down, and this is good for people who have knee sensitivities and stuff like that, is that you sit, feet coming out of the hips, and then you just press. You can't see that I'm doing this, but you press your feet against the floor, And you'll feel that same thing happen in the quadriceps. You'll feel those muscles start to burn a little. And just let them burn. Stand it, take it as long as you can endure it. I mean, don't, go on for 10 minutes. But don't stop the minute you start to feel that burning. Just let it be there for a few breath cycles. Know that your body is releasing. Let it happen. And then slowly just stop pressing against the floor. Like you can't really see a difference in me, but take a breath. Feel yourself. It's always an important part. And then do it again. And you can do this as many times as you need to as you're waiting to feel this shift happen. So you have the towel twisting and the lower body leg work. Good. I hope that helps. Play around with it. Try it. Tell me what you think. If you have any comments, you can make them below and I'll respond for sure. Okay. Happy Sunday to you all. All right. Bye-bye.